Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of A.T.O.M RPG. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today as we get into this video club, which I believe is a video club. Fortunately, not a lot of people here, so I can steal all their things. What is that? Oh, I took it. It's a microchip. That didn't look very micro to me. It doesn't matter what purpose it served before the war. Now you can sell it for a pretty penny. I like pretty pennies. That is, yeah, why, who doesn't? Let's get some lantern batteries out of here. Also known as, I forgot the name, but I said it when we found it for the first time. Somebody commented it, and I eventually named that battery. It has a name. It has a specific name. That's why it's called a battery lantern, or lattery battern. That's what it is. Also, we have, look at that, television sets, except without the things outside. These are the what are they called? The tubes. What are they called? That's YouTube is called after this thing. The thing. The cathode ray tube, I think. Yeah, that's how the old CRTs are made. Cathode ray tube. That's what CRT stands for. I just now realized. I'm very smart. I know all these things. What do we have? Compact cassette. And more stuff. That salt probably is not going to be needed. I don't think I need it for anything. And over here we have more. Yeah, Planeta 1. That's the one. 3336. Yeah. But that's the battery that we were picking up. Also, what is condom? And an alarm clock, as you do. Okay. Well, this is oh, so this is where they come to watch videos there on that old television. I say old television. This is a very, yeah, it's about as 80s as it gets. Although that VHS, oh, that might not be VHS. I don't know when VHS started. These could be the old Betamax or whatever the things were. They look very big. No, Fidel, get out of here. It's a nuisance. Yeah, these look pretty enormous. They're probably the old format. I'm not really sure. We don't have access to it. We also have pre-war cognac. Let's have a chat with the guy. A black-haired young man takes his eyes off the N1 issue of the 1985 The Art of Cinema magazine with Mikhail Ulyanov as Marshal Zhukov on the cover and smiles widely. Welcome to the video parlor. Fancy watching a movie? Why not? What's on today? That he would reply, that's not how videos work. But I think this is like the cinema and stuff, or the theater. That's the sci-fi day, or today's the sci-fi day. He says, Soviet classics, Wolverine's Run. Interested? The ticket's only 30 rubles. Yeah, sure, here's the money. Let's do this. The room with a TV set you proceed to is already full of bearded men in fedora hats and women in t-shirts with a capital T with the film title prints. Oh, right, okay, right, they're very big fans of the film. They hang on the edge of their seats, waiting for the movie to start. You spend the next 90 minutes in the world of robots, blasters, and glorious future. In the world of glorious future. When the film ends, you raise your seat. Apparently, it was not bad. Oh, wait a minute. Fidel heals? I like it. Maybe I don't need to give him Casparamid, as it turns out. Also, I saw no bearded men or t-shirted women. I have no idea what that was all about. Let's have a chat with the guy. Oh, welcome! Yeah, okay, so... Oh, I can pay for experience, I would assume. Maybe. So why is this man screaming outside? Well, we talked to him already. Ah, he's a nutcase. He got it into his head that slave owners, for some reason, buy tapes from me. Oh, wait a minute. He didn't actually say that quite as much. Anyway, crazy accusation, he says. Don't believe him. I might as well say there are bunkers in the wasteland where secret experiments were carried out. Will it become true too? He asks. Where'd you get your tapes? Once I found a videotape store. It was my initial equity, so to speak, he says. Now I've created a whole system to provide me with new tapes. I know some stalkers and merchants who deal in rare antiques. Do you get many visitors? It depends on what film or genre screens today. Sometimes there are scores of them, and sometimes I'm the only person in the cinema. What's in your collection? What in your collection is in highest demand? Action movies, comedies, quite predictably. Well, you'll be surprised, but morning aerobics for women is very popular too. Beats me, there's no plot even, he says. Well, if you're smart, it's literally morning aerobics for women. There, you know, I would assume either I was gonna say grumpy old man, but not necessarily grumpy old man, just, you know, creepy old man, let's go with that, or creepy man coming here to just be like, oh, look at the spandex suits and all that, or it's the women, because apparently aerobics for men are different, that come in here and practice, or learn, I don't know, or anyway, anything interesting recently? I heard some guys in the South made a real movie, as opposed to all the other ones that are not real. I'd like to see it. I have to explain to people every day. It hasn't reached us yet. Oh, this sounds interesting. I think he means... the implication there is that there are no more movies after the war, and now there apparently is one. And the real just means that there is one. That's just what it is. Margarita, we talked to... That's the... I'll talk to you just to make sure. Yeah, it's the guy that doesn't say anything. Yeah, talk to you. So, where are we? I think more or less we've explored everything. We came from here. Oh, sorry. Rotating the camera a little bit too much. There it is. And then here's the militia place. They didn't bother taking that car out of the roads. No, this is not the militia place. This is a different thing. Huh. Have I been here before? I don't think I have. Let's steal everything. Okay, I'll take your glasses. I'll take your cognac. Oh, that's port wine. Okay. That's port. It's port. A short message and a brazier. What is that, a brazier? Did I just really get a brazier? Anyway, there's people in here. I probably need to wait until they go away so I can open that. That is a bra. No, I'm pretty sure that's a bra. Yeah, it's not a brazier. Although, anyway, a good quality pre-war brazier. What was it doing in Krasnoznameni? In the Krasnoznameni Inn. Was it lost by someone? Yeah, well, what? There's no secret there. People use braziers. What, like, and they leave it behind. What kind of secret? What? I don't understand. Let's see what it happened. It happened again, it reads. My talent to seduce women, is this a gift or a curse? My vocation or the cross I have to bear? To bear and sigh and moan, I wish I knew. Tourist Korolov. Yep. It's just a note that was there. Can I talk to you guys, fellas? Hi. The man who walks to and fro across the room is middle-aged, of average height, a bit plump, and seems to be engrossed in his thoughts. He fidgets with a pencil stub, then snorts and mumbles something to his companion, who also sits in the room and sees you. Or as he sees you, he becomes very serious. I'm Vladislav Zirenko, editor-in-chief of the Shoot to Kill print house. Are you here to talk about my interview with the local veterans? Who are these veterans? My colleagues spent so much time writing these ads and apparently someone tore them off the wall again. I'm looking for someone to interview a couple of people for my publishing house. Interested? An interview, you say. Can I have the details? Look, there are 3 heroes of the Battle of the Berlin Wall that currently live in the city. Yeah, that very battle in the war against the Western Bloc that ended up in the nuclear surprise for us. Is that canon, or is that a joke? Anyway, because, you know, we don't know what happened. This is the first time we're beginning to know what happened. On the one hand, this is extremely... That is extremely lucky. On the other, they refused to talk to me. We started off on the wrong foot. One guy, who I suppose has a bad case of PTSD, threw his urinal right at my head. As you do. You know, he carried it on a chain and... Anyway. Okay, what's next? All I need is for them to tell me about those events. We'll make up the rest, so, these are their names. Sergei Maslov, who lives in the suburbs, but in a, good house. I mean... Apparently the suburbs have bad houses. I don't know. Ambrose Trufelev from... Oh, I'm the outskirts. Suburbs. The outskirts, right. So Ambrose Trufelev as well from a house near the hotel. It was his urinal that I was nearly hit by. And the third is Vysotsky the Navigator. People say he has some sort of house somewhere in the suburbs. I don't know if it's a house or what it is, but anyway, he prefers lying around grasping at a bottle. Find them all and make them tell you about the battle. Write it all down and memorize it. I don't know. Or memorize it. Oh, he's leaving it up to me. What I should do. Really? Okay. And bring their stories to me. You'll get 50% of my wages. Deal? Absolutely. The man claps his hands and dances with pleasure, which makes the old floorboards creak. Well done. Great. I'd kiss you, but I'm not big on that. I don't like kissing, you know, see? I'm more on the spooning side of things. All right, I'll be waiting here. Okay, good. So, I need to... Can you talk some more about where are you from? Like most printed media nowadays, from Trudograd. Also media... I am not sure media... Huh. It is interesting. I don't know, actually. The word media has been, as far as I understand, more and more used these days to refer to the multitude of media, because media just is the plural of medium, and medium means... Well, actually, I use the word means. The meaning of the word media is means, as in medium is mean, as in the mean that you achieve something. That's where the word comes from. Of course, it's utilized to refer to the means of communication. But the thing is, was it used back in the 80s the same way it's used today? I'm not completely sure, because there's a very specific distinction between the newspapers and television news, and those were the two types of media that existed back then. But now we have the internet, which, and of course the internet takes many forms in regards to being, you know, just text or video, but and radio as well. Oh, yeah, I'm forgetting about radio. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I tend to associate the uses of media like this more with like the contemporary, our contemporary time rather than the 1980s. But I don't know. I didn't live back then, so maybe somebody else will elucidate me in the comments. Anyway. This city lost about 50% of its population, that's the right its, but preserved in its copper belly dozens of printing presses. Why is its belly copper? I don't know, it's just, I probably is a saying, but I've never heard of it. Anyway, how is it being a journalist nowadays? Just like in any other job, everything runs smoothly if you manage not to turn into a fanatic. If they ask for a piece on, let's say, corn, go to the fields and describe everything that goes on there as best you can. If they ask a piece on carnivorous mutants, well, look for someone who's met with them. Make up a plausible story that involves you, and relax. That is the least journalistic description of journalism I have ever seen. What can you tell me about Krasnoye Znameni? A nice, quiet, godforsaken backwaters. I thought with the right its before. Anyway, perfect description for this place. No need to snort. Scoff. Anyway, after the devilish technogenic ziggurat of Trudograd, even pre-war Moscow will seem backwaterish to you. Yeah, I haven't been to Trudograd. I need to go there, and I'll also need to manage to pronounce it properly. Are there any rumors that seem interesting to you? One fellow was investigating the local legends about a brainworm that gets inside your head through your pupil and subdues you. I didn't hear about that pupil bit. But while his investigation was in full swing, he dashed to Georgia, the country, not the state, all of a sudden. Said he wanted to visit his family. Weird. He never said he had any relatives in there. Huh. Well, I wonder what that means. Does it mean he has a... Does it mean Vladislav has a worm, or does it mean the guy had a worm? Because he just dashed to Georgia. I suppose that sort of implies that there was some urgency in the relocation. Sure. So I need to talk to about Dick Popov for sure. Let's have a chat with you about that. So I just wanted to say, Dick, is that. I really, it's fascinating. It's consistent as well. It is fascinating how the this and the that is inverted so often. Because it's definitely it's language dependent. And that is fascinating to me. I love it because I know, for example, in between Brazilian Portuguese and European Portuguese, this and that get inverted as well. We have two words, or we have one word for this and another word for that. So the translation is the same, but the usage of the word is different. And I love it. It's fascinating because it's just, it's just how people talk. So I can definitely see Russian being also as well inverted from English and from European Portuguese. But yeah, that word should be translated into that rather than this, although I'm sure the Russian language is this rather than that, if that makes any sense. Anyway, he says, is that... Oh. That... I didn't read the second word. That should be translated into... Is he? Is he that muzzled guy whose presence in his private sauna the ex-mayor of Kitze City failed to explain? That's one sentence. Although, no, that was Pedro Stallion. What are you talking about then? I have no idea what that is a reference to. But if the mayor... Private sauna... Is Pedro Stallion... Was the mayor... Was the mayor having an affair with Pedro? I suppose. I mean, it's the sauna. People go to the sauna to have affairs, or just sex in general, like really raunchy ones. Raunchy sex, I mean. So let's see. That is a character, again. That is a character of a sleazy book some local loony is either writing or has already written. My character is going to say. He calls it a, quote, space fantastic novel. And the word fantastic does come from fantasy, but usually, very, very rarely is it used to denote fantasy. It's usually meant to denote unbelievability. Anyway, and asked me to talk about it. Oh yeah, I'm starting to remember, he says. Some guy told me about that character in the same words. I believe I was trying to have lunch in the shade. He ran to me, for some reason called me a pig, and started babbling. So how is it relevant? Well, this guy that I'm talking about came up with an idea of an unusual book series, a collection of stories about a character called Dick Popov. Oh, I see now. What he suggests is that we should start publishing second-rate pulp fiction targeted at lowbrow audiences. You don't know what pulp fiction is. This guy doesn't know what pulp fiction is. He doesn't know what pulp fiction is. Unless he doesn't know that this is meant... This is smut. Yeah, this is smut. It's not pulp fiction. Pulp fiction is... I mean, I've never seen the movie. So I'm not referring to the movie. Pulp fiction literally just means, you know, punchy movies. Movies of action and style, that sort of style. I don't know if it has to do with beating people to a pulp. It might? I don't know. Anyway, well, in a nutshell, yes. Well, that is decided then, he says. We'll publish it. There's not enough fiction in the wasteland, and people do want to entertain themselves too. Growing beetroot, which is very... everybody... Anyway, it's fine. And... sorry, I bumped the microphone just then. And beating each other up after some vodka is not enough. And it's left... If he's... I don't know if he's referring to after drinking some vodka, or if they're after the vodka and that's why they beat each other up so they can get the vodka, because that's literally what he said, rather than... I mean, I guess literally he could also be saying after some vodka, it's like after some tea, we'll punch each other. Like, you know, you could say that, but using vodka as in the same way as tea is weird. It's like after lunch. or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You can tell your author to start preparing the material. By the way, would he mind transferring all his rights to the publishing house? And if his works don't turn out commercially successful, reimbursing Shoot to Kill print house with quotes. I did a quotes, air quotes, with his personal effects, and paying me 60% of the income as his personal producer and the discoverer of his unique talent. Yes. Yeah, he'll be happy to. I suppose he won't even mind shooting himself to see his works printed. He grins. It was a rhetorical question. No, it wasn't. You don't know what rhetorical means. This guy doesn't know anything. Thank you for the contact, he says. Well, it's turned out all great. Just changed. That's good. I'll see you later. So now I can go back to the guy. Well, I know where he is, but let's have a chat with this fellow over here. I can go back to the guy and tell him that he's gonna have his smut published, and this guy has a fedora. I was trying to see if it's that is a fedora. I'm pretty sure, not a trilby, because a trilby is a lot like more pronounced over here. I think that, and then the back is sort of thing. That's a fedora. Yeah. The game did say fedora. Anyway, a big unshaved man with a smoking cigarette between his teeth. Sorry, I was trying to process what the smoking like it's a cigarette, a lit cigarette. Between his teeth stands in front of you. He casts an indifferent look at you and clears his throat, as I did, even though I shouldn't have, because I'm right on the microphone. I shouldn't do that. Covered in soot. The throat is covered in soot. I'd never. That's not good. I never heard it said like that. I suppose it might be. Is that how smoking throats work? Anyway, from thick tobacco smoke. What is it? Just want to chat. Sure, let's chat. We're not exactly flooded with work around here anyway. Where have you come from, guys? From Trudograd. My boss, there he is collecting material for his articles, and I accompany him as a photographer. Well, and I also scribble some stuff too, like crossword puzzles and stuff. They pay for this trip, of course, but there's absolutely nothing to do with these backwaters. What is there nothing to do with these I don't... By the way, talking of work, do you want to earn some money? Yes, sounds interesting. Sure, look. Trudograd is currently suffering from a lack of paper. There's not much left from before the war, and freshly produced paper is way too expensive. So before I left, guys from the print shop, that's a typo, had asked me to buy waste paper in Krasnoznameni as it's cheaper. But it's not as simple as they think. I bought some in Paragon and some here and sent it to Trudograd. I mispronounced that word, don't worry. But to complete the order, I need more. The man spits out a cigarette butt and instantly opens a new pack. That makes it seem like he had the cigarette butt in his mouth and, like, not in his lips. Because I didn't see. It's like, you spit out a cigarette butt. Where did it come from? What is that? Fancy a cig? Sure. No need to thank me. Oh, did I thank you? I'm sorry. Anyway, to thank me for a roll of poison. Just a second. And yay, I gained things for selling. The journalist extracts 2 cigarettes from his pack. The first time, or actually, is it actually? No, it's a ciggy. The cig, yeah, sure. One for you and one for himself. Lights one and goes on. You didn't like mine? I mean, not that I wanted him to, but anyway. So, I need 500 more stacks of paper to complete the order. I'll pay you 12 rubles per pack, and if you find all 500 stacks I need, I'll give you a bonus. Sure. That sounds... Wait a minute. I thought it was gonna be a mission rather than a... Are you really... Is this a fetch quest? Like, in the sense that, you know, go and find me 500 waste papers. I don't even. So where'd you guys come from? Oh, right. There's no... Yeah, that's right. So how's it being a journalist nowadays? Let's see if he knows at least what being a journalist is. He says, that depends. If you know what to write, it can be quite a lucrative job. And if you don't, you risk ending up like one independent journalist from around here. He was digging up some dirt on the local criminal figure, and then mysteriously disappeared from the city. Well, you got the idea. I can't tell you more because the said criminal figure lives next door. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't born yesterday. Well, there it is. What can you tell me about Krasnoznameni? It's a city, just like any other city. I've seen better, I've seen worse. My boss and I usually visit the local brothel to interview sex workers. I assume this society doesn't... Is he ashamed of visiting the local brothel? I mean, he seems to be. Apparently there's a reason to be in this society. I mean, have you heard anything interesting? Right. Oh, the big bosses of Paragon, that's to the north from here, are constantly at each other's throats. I wonder what it will all lead to. Absolutely, it will. Okay, so I've brought you some waste paper. Give it to me. I don't think I can give it to you. I don't think I have any, for that matter. I never got anywhere close to 500. That sounds ridiculous. I don't know what to say about that, really. Let's see. So let's open that. We got an empty bottle. Let's have a chat with this fella over here. A sullen man with mousy mustache looks at you from under a red lamp. He seems to be disgruntled, and then again it might well be his permanent state. He heaves a deep sigh and says in a tragic voice, "That's gonna be it for today. I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been A.T.O.M RPG. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.